Well, it's time for a backtest. I should figure out an intro. I should probably, I want to do other content that's not backtesting, but this kind of helps me keep my eyes straight and, like, you know, figure out what's going on with the market. July 20th. So let's go ahead and do July 20th and we'll see what we got. Pound CAD July 20th. Okay. So I'm gonna try to stay on the 1 minute. I've been trying to practice just using the 1 minute for some reason. Like it seems a bit difficult, and I think I want to challenge myself with my trading. I've been getting kind of comfortable. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe not. Pound CAD is definitely gonna break me out of my comfort zone, as it usually does. But here's Pound CAD in the July 20th time frame. We can go way up here and say that, oh, this is a trend line that's happening when we just broke this trend here. So we do expect this overall trend line to get run at this point. So I'm not looking for sells or buys. I'm just sitting on my hands and waiting to see what happens with this larger time frame push. Maybe this. I don't know, it's a wide channel, but we've tapped into it 3 times. So my rule is that if a trend line gets tapped 3 times, then it's usually weak on the 4th and 5th. So let's see what happens here. Looks like we're pushing down still though. Okay, wicking on the trend line. Now we're finally popping through. We could take a counter trend trade pretty soon if we get another engulfing to the top side. Otherwise, we're still respecting this trend and we're still going down. So all I'm really doing is just waiting. This is very choppy price action. We could take some, you know, supply areas for sells, but I don't like how this thing is wicking all over the place. So there we go, just formed a new low. We'll keep trucking. Not much that I see. All we have is pretty much this shortened channel. And if we were to draw this, what the heck, how did I draw my focal point on this thing? It's like, yeah, so if we were to draw it like this, we're really just waiting for a breakout to the top side of it, possibly a return to the supply right here, and then a run of the lows. We returned to the supply and we ran the lows. But it was so quick I couldn't really catch anything. So now we're expecting some kind of corrective move or continuation. Now, if we're going for the corrective move, basically we're saying this trend line is going to break. It'll be the 5th touch of this big trend line. So we call him orange. Basically, we're waiting for that to kind of get attacked. And if that gets attacked and it breaks, then we are going to possibly run very high. So we could take a chance on that move. And I would say that possibly goes up to here. I mean, we haven't filled in this missing price either, so we have this missing price right here. We could probably take this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a chance. And I'm gonna do like a super mondo, like ginormous stop loss on this here. And I'm gonna take a chance that it runs up to here. Or at least 1 to 3, right? The other way we could trade this is that if we didn't want to go crazy, we could do like a stop loss under this right shoulder formed here and take it to this initial supply. But I think that this might be a safer play. It's 8.5 pips going up to here, but we'll see. We always have the option of breaking even if it runs too, so let's see what happens. Wow, maybe we should have taken that first one, huh? So if it gets to our our take profit area. With this type of momentum, I think I might actually trail the stop loss under the previous candle, so I might not take profit fully at our take profit area, but I want to see how it continues to react. Sometimes the candles look kind of crazy. So we're at 1 to 3 right now. I'm going to keep like expanding this out, and now that we're in here, basically what I want to do is I want to trail it all the way up here, but I'm going to put my stop loss under the previous candle because I want it to run right through this area of supply. So I'm going to put this right here, and I think this is 1 to 3, but we're going to put, we're going to just put SL, so I'm lazy today. And then what we're going to do, let me just drag this down and see where we're at. This is 1 to 2.8. That's fine. I'm gonna see what happens here. I expect we reject from here, but I don't know yet. Okay, so now that we've popped out of the top, I'm gonna lock in this amount of candles because we have no space. We just have like a little bit of space, right? So that's how much I want to lock in for now. We're gonna keep going. We want to run. The idea is to run the highs of this area here as much as we can, but we know that we have to pull back at some point. The momentum is very strong, so we'll see. And there we go. So we got taken out right at our stop loss here. We did not get all the way up. That was the dream. It was not realized. We'll just do 3 point. I guess we could do 3.6. That's it's 3.59, but yeah, I'll just do 3.59. Let's not cheat by 0.1. Like 3.59. Like anyways, so there we go. We got our 3.59. We broke out of that channel pretty massively, so I'm gonna actually do this, and we will go and we will just take it up. We'll draw a channel like this, and we'll say when it breaks out of the channel, we expect a new high to form, right? And we'll remove this stop loss line, or like at least put it away, and we'll do this over here. And we will continue to trade. So let's see what happens. Massive push down. Expecting a bounce from an area of demand. So possibly where we're at, or a little bit lower. Cannot tell myself to enter on that, unfortunately. Just too large. And that is just too sloppy. I'm not ready for this move, so I'm not going to take it. But it would have worked, apparently. So we just ran the high again. So now, once again, hey, we've got a new channel, expecting a new high again. And we have an overshoot, and we just returned back to the side of the channel. So let's see what happens if we break out of it. Right now we're respecting it, just made a new high. So it looks like we're slowing down a bit. So let's see if we can get either some kind of buy from here, because I think that to reverse, we would need to enter this area of supply. So let's look for a buy somewhere if we can. These candles are unfortunately forming very large, and it's very difficult for me to get my bearings straight on this. And we just hit the top side. We probably could have made a case to take this big first trade, even though we didn't like the size of the candle, but we don't trade like that, so we're gonna keep going. I really like this candle here from this spot, but I don't want to just trade that right now. So I'm gonna wait and see what happens with the price action. I do expect a new high to form unless we get another engulfing here. It's very wicky. We did trade below the low. I could make a case to sell here, but we didn't make a new high, so what are we rejecting? That pin bar. I'm gonna try to take a quick trade. I'm gonna put my stop loss just above our entry candle. because I don't want it to go any higher than this for this trade idea, because I don't know if we can run the lows on the first pop. I think we need to wait for a pullback. So let's see what happens here. So that is not great for our trade. I'm going to break even. So if we get another wick back up into this area, oh wait, got our stop loss line here. What am I doing? So if we get another wick back into this area, then I don't want to be in the trade anymore. So not there yet, but here we go. Here's a double bottom, looking scary. We didn't quite wick it, and there we go. So that's what I figured would happen. So I didn't want to set a big stop loss there, because it was basically, you're saying that this area of demand is not going to hold. Unfortunately it did, but we thought it would run a little bit deeper, and that's okay. So we'll flatten this trade out and move our stop loss line out of the way. We should still get a bounce from somewhere around here if we're going to continue lower. So we just want to be aware of that. So I like this candle to continue lower because we broke this initial structure over here. We attempted to make a high, but now it's a triple top again. We've got a nice wicky candle. So I'm going to put my stop loss right above this area here, 7.5, and then we're going to take it lower. Okay, looks like that idea didn't work out, unfortunately. So we will flatten this out. I think I got a little bit hasty on that, but that's okay, because now we're putting ourselves in a tricky spot, because this is like kind of like you know, a trading range, and we're trying to trade from the top of it. I'm gonna re-enter here based off of this candle. So same idea. I think I'm gonna remove this trade because it's in the way, and it's pretty much the same exact area, same exact idea, but I'll put it a little bit higher so we can be a little bit more protected. But we're putting ourselves in a tricky spot by selling this low. Unfortunately, you know, we saw what happened when we did that, but now we're here and we're kind of dropping. I don't like that we're consolidating all these previous lows. If we get a runner though, it'll be really nice. Like, if we can break these lows continuously. Like, basically if we consolidate here, take the highs, and then run down, I will probably trail my stop lower. So let's see what happens, just like we did on the way up. But it looks like we came back to our entry. That's very scary, especially with that candle. And it looks like we did run higher, unfortunately. So once again, we're getting close, but we're not getting those runners like we want. The assumption here is that we do run up to this higher area. Let's see what happens. I'm very curious, because to me this looks like seller's momentum, right? Even though we just came back to the highs, this to me, because we broke structure twice over here, and then now we are coming back to the top side just to clear this out. I'm going to take one more chance on this sell, and because we're just focusing on the 1 minute right now, this is a little bit more difficult, because usually I'd be using the 15-minute to kind of figure out where we're going. And if this is if the move that I'm thinking of is playing out, then basically we're gonna be able to run this low down here, or at least get to this area of demand, because we've had all these orders being accumulated up here. It's like a crazy trading range, but we still have down here that, look at all this imbalance. There's all this white space down here. There's nothing going on. So to me, I think it's about time. So we're gonna take it down to this area here, and we'll see what happens. I should probably put my stop loss above this. Okay, got some love. Okay, we're consolidating in the same spot again. This is very rough. I hate this, honestly. Okay, we broke some lows, got a reprieve, but then we're starting to bounce back up. Okay, I hit play on accident, but that's okay. So we're continuing lower. I'm gonna keep clicking and see if we can break one more leg of structure. Because once we break this low, I want to see if I can start trailing the stop. Let's keep going. Okay, so now we broke the low. Let's bring Mr. Stop Loss back over here. We should not come back up to this point. And this point is a 1 to 3.3. So not the best, not the worst, but at this point we should not return to that area. We should continue lower. But if we do, I'll be quite sad. So let me see what this is here. We can lock in, not even worth it locking in the 1 to 4 yet, but we should lock in the 1 to 4. Let me lock that in. I think it's somewhere around there. It's like a little, like a micro pip lower. Let's just do that there. So we've locked in 1 to 4 on this trade. We're going for 1 to 6-ish. Okay, that was a crazy spike down. And we are bouncing off of the area of demand, I believe, that we marked off earlier. So our stop loss could very well get run here. And there we go. So we got a 1 to 4 there. And let's see what happens. So I basically, I guess we call this a 1 and 2 because I gave up 2 trying to catch this. It was so I guess we caught. We say we gave up 2 to catch 2. That's okay. I mean, it's still profit, right? Let's keep going. This could be a reversal here also, because we're now down to our the opposite end of the range, and we are on a right shoulder, so it's a return to impulse type of move, which means that we could potentially bounce from here. I need to see if I did pound CAD multiple times on the channel already. I might have to exclude it from the list because it gets chosen a lot. I feel like it's gotten chosen a lot, but maybe it's in my head. Maybe it's other pounds or something. Like I don't know. I feel like I've done a lot of experiments with pound CAD just because the wheel's giving it to me. We're just looking at this consolidation range here. Not really much going on. I expect this low to get run. But let's see. We can call it a range from here. We'll say this yellow line. Let's move out senior stop loss for a minute. So this yellow line down to here, and we're at the bottom. So technically, we'd want to buy this range. But of course, you know, we don't want to trade it like that right now. We made the new low. We rallied higher. Now we're pushing back to the top. I'd assume that we continue running, but I could be completely wrong. So we're just gonna hold off on this. It's pretty much 11. I should probably end the video here. It's 11 in real life too. So yeah, I think that's good. It was an okay session. I don't know, I feel okay about it. I don't like that I messed up on these 2 trades. I probably could have broke even this and saved some profit, but that's okay. And then also there was one up here that I deleted, I think, that I got too antsy on. So that's okay, but it could have been better. I think it could have been better. Let's see what happens on this, because my assumption was that, you know, if we made a new low here, we'd you know, go up and then drop. But let's see. I'm curious if we just run all the way back up and it's a reversal. I'm gonna go to the 15-minute for that, because this is just from my curiosity. Okay, so we did drop, and now I'm assuming we run the real lows? Or just consolidate more and drop back up. Okay, that makes sense. So I was mostly wrong here, just because it's so wacky and wild, but I think it's okay. But yeah, thanks for watching. This was, let's see, we've got, we'll just say this is 2R plus 359, right? So that'd be 5.59 R. Yeah, I hope you have a happy life wherever you are. And yeah, if you want to talk about supply and demand and channels and trend lines, I'll be right here waiting.